Oh, I know in the first 2 weeks, that was a really common experience from all the clients coming to see me to say, I'm actually okay with this. In fact, it feels good to not be doing too much. I can breathe.
Hi everyone. Today we have Cathy from Live Life Psychology down in Ormond. Hi Cathy, how you going?
Good, thanks Rachel. How
Good,
are you?
Wonderful. I'm very good, thank you. For a lot of us, have been, and I feel like it's been over the last sort of 18 to 24 months, but where life was getting so busy. And everyone, whenever you speak to them, you say, how are you? And they say, I'm busy. So what does that look like and how do you control that? And I think that scheduled downtime, that was one of my intentions with this year, is to schedule that, because that's really, really important to get the most, out of your day, which I think
people are now feeling that, aren't they? They're actually saying, oh, I know in the first 2 weeks, that was a really common experience from all the clients coming to see me to say, I'm actually okay with this. In fact, it feels good to not be doing too much. I can breathe. I finish work and I think, what do I need to do? And then I realise, other than dinner and whatever else, I don't need to be anywhere. There's no rushing to soccer practice for the kids or rushing to visit a friend or going out for dinner, or it's just sitting down and a slower pace for everybody, and it's been quite positive. And enjoying that time with your family and your friends, as best you can. And even though that connection space may look a little different, it's all gone online or whatever that looks like, but you're still spending quality time, which is a different sort of quality. And checking in on those when you need to. So that's we're actually just to add to that, we're actually getting a lot of feedback from people who are now starting to feel a little bit anxious that when these changes happen or we're allowed to get back out in the world again, what's going to happen with my downtime? I don't want to get back into the rush again. So I think it's really important to remember that coming out of this phase too.
Absolutely.
That there's some lessons here that we've all learned individually, our own sort of style of coping, and we want to hang on to those newfound skills and new ideas about what life could be like. And so I suppose rolling on from that, if we talk about, we've spoken about some strategies about, in the current climate. So we talk about, minimizing the misinformation and going to reliable sources and checking in on friends and family as we need to. But then with those strategies, as we move out of this and back to a new normal, because we were talking about that earlier, it won't be the same as what it used to be like. It'll look completely different, and that's okay. So how would you, I suppose that's another change in behaviour for our members and for our community. So what strategies would you have around moving into that space? I think whenever anybody wants to enact a change in their life, it's really important to have a bit of space before that change happens, imagining, sort of contemplating and imagining what that change would look like. So when I want to be getting really super fit, and how's that going to look? I can imagine myself running, or I can imagine myself dancing, and I can see the happiness and the joy it brings me to be fit and healthy. So before I actually set out on the exercise trail, I've got an image of how I want to be when I achieve it. So that helps setting that goal and working towards it. It's the hard work that we do getting towards a goal that helps that happen. So in this situation, knowing that one day we will be walking around and going out for dinners and visiting friends and doing all the things we used to love and enjoy, we want to imagine the new version of us doing all of those things. Perhaps the old version might have been a bit stressed, a bit anxious, a bit flat, a bit worried about how busy their life was. It's time now to imagine what it could look like, and which parts then we have to plan and set change around. Is it that we're going to drop one of the extracurricular activities that we have been pushing ourselves to do and maybe take it up another time or alternate it, or is it to put more emphasis on visiting family because we've really missed that time
component?
Imagine what it would be like, so then when we get to that point, we don't just fall back into the old traps of rushing and being busy without mindfully deciding what it is we want to be doing with our life.
Absolutely, and that keyword there being that mindfulness space. I mean, we've spoken about those activities that allow us to take our mind off our busy lifestyle. And in this environment, we've got our puzzles, we've got mindfulness colouring, we've got the mindful time where we're present and we're sitting with our families and spending time with them, you know, and quality time, because we don't have everything else on our mind because we're right there with them in that moment. And you know, with exercise as well, that's one of those things that you're focusing on what that path looks like. Is it, you know, enjoying a class? Is it going for a run around Elwood? Is it, what does that space look like? And it's really important for everyone to identify that motivation and what that mindfulness space is to them.
If you've got a vision of it, it makes it
in.
easier to work towards it.
Absolutely. So our last question that we'll speak on today is about maintaining a positive mindset. You know, it is hard sometimes when, you know, we feel like that there is a lot going on. But what are your strategies or your suggestions around maintaining a positive mindset or taking those first steps towards working on yourself in that space?
I think this one's an interesting one, because maintaining a positive mindset is what we always, you know, sort of try and aim for.
Yeah.
But the part we also have to remember is that it's not possible to have that all the time. And in fact, some of what's happening with this coronavirus situation isn't positive, is it? It's really stressful, particularly if anyone's had family members who have been unwell, or if you've been worried about elderly parents or friends, and especially, you know, in the other countries where we've had really, really high death rates. There's some really, difficult things to have to get your head around and to sort of sit with around this situation. And so, yes, maintaining a positive mindset is really helpful and really important, and it's particularly important for us adults to kind of model that for kids so that they're not, you know, worried about this area and getting too stressed by the changes. But as well as that positive mindset, we have to accept that there might be some grief reactions from people. We might feel some days like it's a bit helpless or hopeless, and I think give yourself permission to have those moments too, and understand that we're human beings, so we're going to feel all ranges of emotion from positive to not positive, and let yourself have your downtimes. Perhaps let those around you know it's sort of happening. I'm having a flat day, or been thinking about, you know, the families that are, you know, really affected by this, and I'm just feeling a bit down, so I might take myself away and have a bit of alone time or whatever. But remember to remind yourself, this is going to pass. This phase of being stuck in your home and not being able to see the people we love and care for is going to end at some point. And we have to know that what we're feeling now is a wave of emotion that's, you know, very valid, but it's going to pass.
Yes.
So that's for the downside. The upsides, we want to, you know, help share that with the family or whoever we happen to be living with in this quarantine period. We want to make sure that we use that energy, you know, to support and help others around us. And I think you said something before about, you know, doing things for other people or whatever. That's going to keep your positive mindset.
Absolutely.
When you feel you're doing good for others.
Definitely. And just, like you said, just riding out that emotional roller coaster and staying on it together, I suppose. So that's really great. Kathy, thank you for coming along today. It's been great having you here, and some really great conversation. So we hope that helps all of you watching at home. More importantly, if you have any more questions or if there's anything that we can do to help you right now, please comment below. Please get in touch with us via email. You can send that through to info@geleisure.com.au, or just give us a call. Our team are here for you, and we would love to speak to you. So stay connected, stay healthy, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in our next pod session next week. Thanks.